Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GRE. We have been solving GRE math questions out of this book here, the official guide to the GRE, the revised general test. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 244. Turn to page 244. Today is our lesson number 148. Problem number 12. Problem number 12. Let's take a look at it. It says a theater sells children's ticket for half the adult ticket price. All right. So we are told that the price of children's ticket, price of children's ticket is half the price of adult ticket. Let's use letter C. To represent the price of children's ticket, letter C, and let's use A to represent the price of an adult ticket. And we are told that the C, the price of a children's ticket, which we are using letter C to represent with, is equal to children's ticket is half the price of adult's ticket. That's our first equation. Or to say the other way around, or to say the same thing differently, will be to multiply both sides by 2, and if you multiply both sides by 2, you get this 2, and what we end up saying is that the price of an adult ticket, which is what A is, price of an adult ticket is twice the price of the child's ticket. That's all it is. Let's read the next sentence. 5 adults and 8 children's tickets were bought. All right. So 5 adults. So now the story begins. So I'm just going to erase everything and just write down this equation here. A equals 2 times C. Right here. 5 adults and 8 children's tickets were bought for $27. 5 adults and 8 children. Let's put it here. 5 adults and 8 children were bought for $27. But we know that price of 2 children's ticket, 2 tickets of children's ticket is same as 1 adult ticket. So 8 of them will be same as 4 adults. That comes straight from this equation. 2C equals 1A. Therefore, if you multiply both sides by 4, 8C, the price of 8 children's ticket will be same as 4 adults. And then here we have 5 adults. So 9 adults tickets is costing us $27. Divide both sides by 9, and we find that adult's ticket is $3. That's all. They're asking you what's the price of the adult's ticket, and the answer is $3. That's all. And of course we can very quickly verify this thing too if you wanted to. We can very quickly verify here. We just found that the adult's ticket is $3. So 5 adults will cost $15, and 8 children's ticket is $1.50, which is 3 halves. So 3 half of a dollar. 8 goes into 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12, and we find that 15 plus 12 does indeed equals 27. So we just verified it. That's all. Want to do one more? Let's do one more. Number 14. Number 14. 2 cars started from the same point and traveled on a straight course in the opposite direction for exactly 2 hours. All right. So we have 2 cars here. Oh, sorry. Did I skip anything? Yeah, I skipped number 13. Number 13 is what I meant to do. Number 14 is the one after. We just finished number 12. Number 13. Pat invested a total of $3,000. Alright, so total investment, total amount of investment is $3,000. Pat invested $3,000. Part of the money was invested in a money market account that pays 10% interest, and the remainder of the money was invested in the fund that paid 8% interest. Alright, so let the amount of investment at 10% be $T. I'm using letter T to represent the amount of money that we are investing at 10%, 10 for $T, which implies the amount of money that was invested at 8%, the amount of money that was invested at 8% must be whatever money that we invested at $10, we take that away from the $3,000. For example, $3,000 is the total amount of money. For example, if we invested $1,000 at 10%, then we must have invested $2,000 at 8%. If she invested $500 at 10%, then she must have invested $3,000 minus 500 or $2,500 at 8%. If she invested $1 at 10%, she must have invested $2,999 at 8%, and so on and so forth. Since we are investing $T which at 10%, which means that the leftover money, which is simply 3,000 minus T, that's the amount of money that must have been invested at 8%. That's all. Now, what else we are told here? We must have been told the total amount of interest. If the interest earned at the end of the year from these investments was 256, there you go. So total amount of interest that was earned, on $T will be 10% of T, or 10%, 10 over 100 of T. That's the amount of money that we will earn on interest on $T. This is the amount of dollar here. It's 10%. We could write 10% like this as 0.01 times T, which is fine too. These are equal. This equals that. It's the same amount. 0.1 T is the same as what I wrote down there, which is 10%. 10% means 10 over 100, 10% of T. And the interest that we earned, on 3,000 minus T will be 8% of, let's first write in words, will be 8% of 3,000 minus T. 8% means 8 over 100 times 3,000 minus T. We add these two figures together, and they better add up to what they're telling us they add up to. They're telling us that the total amount of interest that we earned was $256. So when we add them together, we'll get 256, and that's our equation. Right here. This amount and this amount. Let's add them together. We need the room, so we have to erase the top part. All of the top part I'm going to get rid of here. So again, one more time. The total amount of investment was $3,000. We're saying that let the amount of investment at T be represented by this symbol T, which is our unknown $T. And if you're investing $T at $3,000, if you're investing $T at 10%, then whatever is the leftover amount is from $3,000, that's what you're investing at 8%. which will be 3000 minus the t, whatever the t happens to be. So 3000 minus t is the amount of money that was invested at 8%. And the amount of interest that was earned on t dollars is simply 10% of t, which is 0.1 t, or 10 over 100 t. You could write this as like this. We could write it as like this: 0.1 10% of t plus 8% of 3000 minus t equals 256 equals 256. 10% of t, just like here, we could write it like this: 0.1 t plus 0.08 times 3000 minus t equals 256. Now the reason I chose to express the 10%, the reason I chose to express the 10% as 10 over 100 and 8% as 8 over 100 is because I hate dealing with decimals. I don't like decimals. I try to avoid them as much as I can. Well, we could get rid of them right now if you like. If we want to multiply the whole equation by 100, we'll end up with where we are. So either way is fine. So 0.10, let's multiply this. We're going to multiply the whole equation by 100. Multiply the entire equation by 100. So 0.1 times 100 will be, or better yet, let's write 0.10 as 10 over 100, which is 1/10 t plus 8 over 100 times 3000 minus t equals 256. Now, what I'm about to do is exactly what I was talking about a second ago. Okay, watch what happens. Now we're going to multiply the entire equation by 100, which I could have done it over there. If we want to multiply the whole equation by 100, we end up with a... How do I actually show the work? We're going to end up 10 over 100 t, I did not leave any room, you see. 8 over 100, 3000 minus t, and 256. Multiply the entire equation by 100, so this term gets multiplied by 100, this term gets multiplied by 100, and on the other side we multiply by 100. And as a result, this 100 drops out. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And similarly, this 100 is going to drop out with that 100, and here we end up with 256 times 100. I think I'm making it far too complicated. We could have taken care of that over there. Another reasons why I did not want to leave it like this is because I really didn't want to multiply 0.08 times 1 by times 3000. It's much easier to just do it times 8. So anyway, that's it, we're done. So here we have 10t. Here we're going to get 8 times 3000. 8 times 3000 plus, well not plus, it is a minus sign here. Minus 8 times t equals 256, and it stick 2 zeros there. 8t minus 10t minus 8t is 2t. 2t plus 8 times 3000 is 24,000 equals 25,600. Let's put that on the top here. T plus 24,000 equals, subtract 24,000 from both sides, 2t equals $1,600, and therefore T will equal $800, which is what we were looking for. We were solving for T. That's it. The amount of money that was invested at 10% is $800. The very last thing that is left that I always like to do is to verify our work. It only takes a few seconds to buy that insurance, and I prefer to pay that premium for the peace of mind. So let's find out. So this is the amount we're claiming that was invested at 10%. Amount invested at 10%. Amount invested at 10%. If that's the amount that we're claiming that was invested at 10%, then 10% of 800. Okay, so $800 at 10%. $800 at 10% implies that we must earn $80 on the amount. Now, if $800 is invested at 10%, and since the total amount is $3,000, which means that we must have invested $2,200, $2,200. $2,200 at 8%. So now we have to figure out 8% of $2,200. So 22 times 8, 8 times 2 is 16, carry 1, 16 around is 17, so it looks like $176. Add them all up, and when we add them all up, we better get what the problem tells us what we got, which I think was 256 that they're telling us. Then we better get 256. 6, 8 plus 7 is 15, 1, 0, voila. So it works. That's it, it's the correct answer. Because it's giving us $256 in interest income, which is precisely what the problem tells us that we earn if we were to invest $800 at 10% and the remainder of the amount, which is $3,000 minus 800, or $2,200 at 8%. So 10% of 800 and 8% of $2,200 we just found is 256. It works. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.